Hi, welcome to WebbShade. My name is Chris Williamson. I'm the production detailer and an installer here. Today we're going to show you how to install one of our WebbGlide shades with the fabric valance. Before we start, I'd like to show you the following hardware that is necessary to complete the installation. The first pieces are going to be our bracket plates. We call these our 1006 brackets. This is our WebbGlide track. It will have tape, double-sided tape pre-attached to the back, and as you can see, one side is going to be longer. This will be the front of the track. This is going to be the WebbGlide shade that will sit in the window just like this. The final piece of hardware will be our fabric valance, and this is mounted to a wooden headrail, and this will mount onto the bracket plates right onto this lip. The first step in the installation will be to mount our bracket plates. Now it's important to get the placement correct on these, and the way that these are mounted will be up like this. Leave as far back as you can go. Leave a little gap off the window, and they will sit in just like that. Now that the brackets are in place, the next step will be to place and attach the track. Now, a good rule of thumb for this is to line up the front edge of this track with the front edge of these slots, so that when it's in, it will line up like that. Now that we have our bracket plates and track installed and placed correctly, the next step will be to install the shade. The easiest way that we found to install this shade is to start by placing your end tips into the track. And then unrolling the shade all the way. Now, with the shade unrolled, there's two ways to do this from here. You can either put the shade into the brackets with the tension pin facing up or down. I find it easier to install it with the tension pin facing down, so that when it's in place, the pin will just drop out. From this point, with the tension pin facing down, you will slide the drive pin into the bracket plate, slide the wooden extender piece into the hole. At this point, our next step will be to remove the tension pin. Let the shade roll up. Make sure that the fabric is sitting inside of the channels, and then test the shade to ensure that it operates smoothly and stops, that nothing bunches, and that it doesn't creep at different points. Now that the shade is in place and operating correctly, it is important to remember to put in the keeper screw into the wooden extender piece. So you'll unroll the shade all the way. And you're going to place the keeper screw, which is going to be a number 8 by 1/2 little screw. You're going to place it into the flat part of the wooden extender, and it's important to get this below the level of the roller tube to ensure that there's no dimpling of the shade when it rolls. And this locks the roller tube into place. One of the things to keep an eye out for is to make sure that there's no excessive rubbing in the track. In this example, you can hear the end tip rubbing in the track as it goes up and down. And in order to prevent this, we found it best to use some silicone spray. And you just put a little shot of it about the middle of the track, and then run the shade up and down a couple times. The next step will be to place these keeper screws that have the 1/4 inch plastic spacer on them on the top of the track to make sure that the end tips do not come all the way out of the track. There is a hole pre-drilled in the top of the track about 1/2 inch from the edge. The final step in the WebbGlide installation will be to mount our fabric valance onto our bracket plates. Now this head rail will sit right on top of the lips of the bracket plates. Make sure that nothing snags up on the top of the window. And make sure that the headrail is centered. In order to attach this, we will be using a number 8 by 1/2 screw. This is going to mount right through the hole in the bracket plate into the headrail. Now the installation is complete. Once everything is finished, make sure to clean up all of your mess around the windowsill and on the floor. Now for timing purposes, you should be able to install about 4 of these per hour.